Extremely Dangerous Matthew continuing towards Haiti and eastern Cuba. I'm Mike Naso from the Tropical Video Update page here on YouTube with the latest on Matthew, and we now have a hurricane warning in effect for Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, and now the southeast Bahamas, as well as a hurricane watch for the central Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos. This hurricane means business, and it is not just going to impact Haiti and Cuba, it is going to impact points north. Now, here's the Atlantic satellite imagery. I did want to note we have an invest out here, which is looking a little bit more lively today, but the main focus, the main game in town, is this Category 4 monster that's headed for areas of Haiti and Cuba as well as the Bahamas. I also am going to touch on some model guidance, in particular the European model, which did very well with Hurricane Joaquin last year, which is predicting a little bit more westerly movement than we'd like to see off the southeast coast. And we'll talk about that and speculate on that. But again, Hurricane Matthew has been the main game in town. It's definitely the most impactful storm that we've seen this season. Certainly looks to overshadow Hermine in the coming days. Again, heavy rainfall, high storm surge, Category 4 winds. If you're in Haiti and Cuba, make sure you are putting your final plans into preparation right now to deal with this storm. Here's the latest on Matthew. As of 11 a.m., it was at 15.6 north, 75.0 west. It is riding the 75 longitude north at 5 or 6 miles an hour. It's been doing that for the last several hours. Maximum sustained winds are back up to 140 miles an hour. It has been strengthening, by the way, gusting well into the Category 5 range. 941 millibars is that pressure. We've seen that pressure very steady between 940 and 945 for quite a long while now. And when you get hurricanes this intense, sometimes that pressure is difficult to get down. Even when winds weaken, it's hard to get a storm pressure to rise that quickly. You can see the forecast track does have it moving to the north, maybe a little north-northeast, a little north-northwest, impacting Haiti, and if not making a direct landfall, moving just to its west. But remember, you're going to be in the right front quadrant. And that's the worst part of a hurricane to be in. That's where you have the highest winds, the strongest storm surge, potentially up to 15 feet in some areas, as well as just devastating rainfall. I've seen some estimates of rainfall 20, 30, 40 inches locally possible in Haiti. And anybody who knows the topography of that country knows how devastating that could be with mudslides and flooding and just a very bad situation. But it won't end there. Then it moves on to eastern Cuba, being one of the worst hurricanes probably to impact that area in quite a while, and then be a major hurricane roaring straight through the central Bahamas. 1 year ago, Hurricane Joaquin was a major hurricane in the Bahamas on this date. That goes to show you just what a risk it is to live in paradise. Now, after that, we expect Matthew to weaken, but still remain a strong hurricane into the weekend and be off the southeast coast. Now, whether or not it ends up taking a drastic right turn or whether or not it has a direct impact, it's still too early to say. But again, you don't want to let your guard down. If it takes the right edge of this cone, it's bad news all the way around for Haiti and the Bahamas, but at least we might be able to get it out to sea. But if it takes the left edge of this cone, it's going to devastate these areas and then move straight through the Bahamas and would potentially have significant impacts along the southeast coast of the U.S. So anybody from the Florida Keys on up to New England needs to keep an eye on Dangerous Matthew, as it's a very, very dangerous and powerful hurricane. Can't emphasize that enough. The wind field with it is still rather small. I mean, we've been dealing with a hurricane that's been expanding in its aerial extent of clouds, but it still doesn't have a large wind field, thankfully. But the hurricane force winds right there, like I said, riding right along 75 straight north. And the major hurricane force winds, the 140, 150 mile an hour winds, especially in gusts, would be probably right within the eye wall, especially in the northern quadrants there. And the northeast quadrant, the right front quadrant, is always the worst part of a hurricane. So like I said before, even if it misses Haiti to the west, that right front quadrant could do some very devastating impacts. Now, the computer models continue to be pretty good in agreement up until the Bahamas. After that, they do start to diverge. Some are further to the west, some are further to the east. Now, what made people so upset today and this morning? It was this European model which shows the hurricane getting down to 938 millibars and getting extremely close to the southeastern coast of the U.S. The main reason is the ridging. You can see the ridging's backing off, but the models are showing that this high pressure might be a lot more dominant and potent than what we've been thinking. And if that's the case, that might help to keep Matthew much closer to the southeastern U.S. Than we'd like it to be. And certainly, as you see it hanging around here in the end, you're talking a week away, and we're still dealing with it right here near Bermuda. And that would be kind of a blocking pattern with the ridging. This is what made people so upset this morning. We're going to wait and see how it pans out, but again, it's just one computer model, the European, and we still have some time to watch it, but the European did quite well when it predicted Joaquin last year. By the way, thank you to Levi Cohen, who does tropicaltidbits.com, for this map. He has a wonderful website. All of us in the hurricane weather nerd community love to go on it, and we appreciate his maps. They're very helpful in determining where these hurricanes might end up going. Now there's the water vapor imagery, and you can see Matt's just riding right along 75 west. As I mentioned before, it's been moving straight north. It was moving north this morning. It's been moving north for the last couple of hours, and the eye is clearing out, much better defined than earlier. When they're this strong, the intensity fluctuates, but yes, it is strengthening right now, but it doesn't mean it's a long-term trend. You can see a lot of moisture here spreading into Hispaniola, and these thunderstorms on the right side of this hurricane. Finally, we don't have that very anomalous blob connected to it as we saw the last couple of days, but still a lot of moisture pumping straight in, and it's starting to rain in Port-au-Prince, and that is a foreboding sign of things to come. There's the infrared satellite imagery, and again, look at beautiful movement right to the north, but it's a beautiful hurricane, but it's not so pretty anymore when you're talking about the impacts we're likely to see with this. This is going to be a significant storm, and again, the strengthening thunderstorms on the northern side here are an indication that it's at the very least going to maintain Category 4 intensity, and if not be a Category 4, the water is built up from this intensity, the storm surge, the rainfall. It's just going to be a very major hurricane impact for areas of Haiti. And like I said, even if it misses you to the west, you're going to be on this right-hand side of the storm. That's the worst part to be in, guys. It really is. So hopefully everybody there is hunkered down, evacuated at higher ground, because it's not really the wind that will kill you as much as the water, and that type of rainfall could cause devastation in Haiti for sure. Now, it's been 53 years, and I want to thank Dr. Phil Klotzbach of Colorado State University for mentioning this sad fact that it was on this date in 1963 that Hurricane Flora hit Haiti as a Category 4 hurricane, and it killed thousands and thousands of people. And of course, it looped around eastern Cuba and ended up moving out to sea, so the track's not identical to what we've seen with Matthew. Matthew, of course, moved through the islands and has taken a trek like that, but it's pretty close for comfort with the date, the intensity, and the potential for devastating impacts. So we don't want to see another Hurricane Flora. We really don't. And I hope people are taking this very, very seriously. Again, it's a powerful hurricane, a terrific hurricane, not the type of hurricane we like to see impacting land. Usually we enjoy seeing them out at sea spinning away, but this one's going to have impacts, and we'll continue to watch it here. I'm Mike Naso from IPR with the latest tropical update on very powerful Hurricane Matthew roaring through the Caribbean Sea.